Hello, this is me recording a reaction to the recent Nintendo Direct February 13, and I was supposed to do this reaction live, but unfortunately there was a blackout in my place yesterday. The internet was down, so I was able to catch the Direct live still, but then since the usual internet was gone, then I had to watch it on my phone with a very crappy resolution at like 240p. Okay, so now I want to watch it again and then do some commentary, so I know what to expect already, but then I want to see it again in this glorious HD. Okay, let's do this. So by the way, before we continue, I love Super Mario Maker, okay? And I don't have any Wii U, so I only played it on the Nintendo 3DS. So let's see what they have here. See what they did to the... So a lot of people are very, meticulous about how Nintendo would go about doing the UI, because with the Wii U or with the 3DS you had two screens, and so when you try to make the stages, it's very easy because you have the accessibility of the touchscreen. The problem with the Switch is that it only has one screen, so I see that they went with a dial here, similar to what Blizzard did with the port of Diablo 3 to the Nintendo Switch. So most usually PC intensive games or games with that involves a lot of mouse clicking, you have to redesign the UI so that it will work better with a console. So you don't want people with controllers to try and emulate the mouse pointer with their analog stick. So this is a very good solution. This is very similar to the one in Diablo 3, and I can see this working here. And seeing that they have a steep slope, if you play the original Super Mario Maker, you know that this is not the remake of Super Mario Maker, because the very biggest thing that was absent in that game is that it doesn't have any slope, okay? Which is weird because it uses the Super Mario 3 template, which if you go back to that NES game, that the levels already feature some slopes, but then the first original Super Mario Maker don't have a slope. So with them showing that, it's indicative that this is a new Super Mario Maker. Alright, Super Mario Maker 2. So this is a day one purchase for me. But the fun thing about Super Mario Maker is that, me personally, what I do is I usually do not make any levels for Super Mario Maker. The thing that I find appealing about this game is that I have a limitless number of stages that I can play around made by other people. So personally, I don't want to make my own level. I want to play levels made by other people. Okay, and if you have the 3DS one, it's very limited because you can't search for specific levels. So I'm sure the things that they did in the Wii U, all the search abilities, the codes and stuff, like you can comment on the stages and so on, I'm sure they will bring it to the Switch and then some. The sun wasn't in the original Super Mario Maker, by the way. And I'm looking if they have a new theme. So you can see here they're using the new Super Mario Brothers U theme. So that was in the original. The 3D theme is lovely though. This is the original theme, and then I also see the Super Mario World theme. Oh, the Cat Mario from Super Mario 3D World, which is a Wii U. I'm still waiting for Nintendo to port that to the Switch. I haven't played that yet, so I'm very confident that they're gonna port that in the future. That's really cool. Let me return to that a little bit. The bullet bills from the background shooting. Yeah, see that's used extensively with the Super Mario 3D Land on the 3DS, and I'm curious about this how they're gonna implement it because typically when you make I said I don't usually make levels in Super Mario Makers, but of course I played around with the stage making screen, and when you make a stage, you actually have a button on the fly that could convert the theme of the world, whether it's the 3D theme, Super Mario 3 theme, the original, or the Super Mario world. So I wonder how, for example, this one, you have 3D objects coming from the background. I wonder how they would implement it using, for example, the original New Super Mario Brothers. I'm so excited for this one. June, okay.
Hi everyone, I'm Yoshiaki Koizumi, and I'll be your guide for today's Nintendo Direct. You just got your first look at the brand new sequel to Super Mario Maker, which we're of course calling Super Mario Maker 2. There will be brand new features, and many new elements are in development as we speak. So please stay tuned. Alright, next, let's cover today's Nintendo Switch headlines.
For the first time in 10 years,
Yeah,
the Marvel Ultimate Alliance
they've showed this before in I believe in a previous direct.
series returns with a new 4-player action RPG and an all-new original story. Assemble your ultimate dream team from a huge cast of Marvel superheroes, from the Guardians of the Galaxy to the Avengers, Defenders, X-Men, and more, to stop Thanos and the Black Order from unleashing cosmic chaos. You can play together in TV mode, locally on up to 4 systems, or online. And get closer to the action with a dynamic zoomed-in heroic camera. And speaking of heroic, it's time to go higher, further, faster with Marvel's ultimate cosmic protector, Captain Marvel. Wield her power against those that would do harm to the universe. As characters level up, they'll learn skills you can use on the fly. In Carol Danvers' case, literally. In addition to basic attacks and skills, each hero has an Alliance Extreme Attack, their most powerful move. Whether you join forces with friends locally or online, take teamwork to unprecedented levels as you creatively combine hero skills into synergy attacks. Your most powerful attacks can even be combined into an Ultimate Alliance Extreme Attack. The team-up possibilities will be off the charts when Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3: The Black Order launches exclusively on Nintendo Switch this summer.
Okay, so personally, I'm not excited. Yeah, I watch like Marvel films, but I'm not too excited playing like some sort of multiplayer beat 'em up game starring Marvel heroes. But what made me excited about this reveal is that I'm so addicted with Pinball FX3, and in other consoles like Steam, PS4, Xbox, they have a slew of Marvel tables that they're not able to bring yet to the Nintendo Switch counterpart. So currently the Pinball FX3 in Switch, if you play it on the Switch, it's missing the Marvel tables. Okay, and the reason is that if you read the forums of Zen Studios, it's because they have a problem with the license thing with Marvel or something. So I don't know, maybe this is a good sign that now Marvel is finally coming to the Switch. Maybe Zen Studio will be able to do something about the Marvel tables on the pinball, so I'm more excited about that if it could happen. So I don't know if it's really anyway related to this Marvel, but anyway, yeah.
Welcome back, Box Boy.
This is a very good puzzle game. In the 3DS, there are 3 of them: Box Boy, Box Boy, and Bye Bye Box Boy. And I finished the first one. The rest I haven't played yet, but they're really fun.
Get ready to unload some boxes and have fun doing it. The critically acclaimed puzzle series Box Boy is coming to Nintendo Switch for the first time. This brand new game is tightly packed with tons of content, including brand new puzzles and new features. We fit something else in too. This time, 2 players can box it up together. To restore peace on the Box Planet, you must work as a team, solve puzzles, and beat those stages. After completing the story, you can access a whole separate adventure starring Cutie, the tall one.
Reminds me of this game. Them adding this character reminds me of the game called Thomas Was Alone, you know, where different blocks with different personalities. Yeah, in here they just have a square, and then now they have QD. That's basically Thomas Was Alone.
In all, there are 270 stages to beat. That's the highest in the series.
I thought for a while there that was like 4-player multiplayer, but no, it's just the number of
To
stages.
date. Use your brain boxes to think outside the box and lead our heroes to the goal. Box Boy and Box Girl will unload on Nintendo Switch April 26th.
Okay.
The Ultimate Spring Update. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is about to spring forward with the version 3.0 update this spring. What are we adding, you ask? You'll just have to wait to find out.
We already know that Joker is coming, so presumably he's coming in this update.
Remember, Joker is a part of Challenger Pack 1. He's secretly been preparing for battle, and his moment will finally come before the end of April. In other words, this year, springtime is the time to smash. And don't forget, new Super Smash Bros. Series amiibo figures are on the way too. There's even more to explore in Captain Toad Treasure Tracker. It's never too late for a journey through the maze-like miniature worlds of the Captain Toad Treasure Tracker game. In fact, we have 2 new announcements for the Nintendo Switch version.
Oh, it's sad that they had to specify that because I have this game on the 3DS, and yeah, it's sad for the 3DS game to be left alone, you know. So I think they're adding some sort of DLC here. Unfortunately, if you have the 3DS one, it's not coming there. I actually like it on the 3DS because, you know, you see 2 screens at the same time, and then you can use your. I heard that the control of the rotating thing here is weird. You do it with the right stick, but then it's very straightforward with the stylus on the 3DS.
After a new update, all courses will support 2-player co-op. Maybe Captain Toad won't be so nervous with someone at his side.
It's one thing you get though on the Switch version is it's HD, so yeah, you have it. But then in the 3DS it's 3D, so yeah, like depending on your preference, I guess.
Heads are better than one, and an extra set of hands goes a long way. This free update will be available later today. And some paid downloadable content is coming. We're adding in 18 new challenges that'll see you traveling to 5 new courses, from sunken ships to a kingdom of sweets, and achieving new objectives in existing courses. Captain Toad and Toadette must obtain the Shining Crowd in each course, all of which can be played alone or with a second player. Captain Toad Treasure Tracker's special episode will be available for purchase as soon as, well, later today, giving you early access to one of the courses. The rest of the content will launch on March 14th.
So I don't know the prospects of this DLC later on being also brought to the 3DS. I don't know. I mean, I think the chances are slim.
If you don't have the game yet, look out for a digital bundle available on Nintendo eShop later today. It contains the full game and gives you access to Captain Toad Treasure Tracker's special episode once it's available. Steel yourself for old school action in an all-new Gothic castle. The side-scrolling action of yore shall rise one.
The 8-bit one, what they call this, Bloodstained Curse of the Moon is actually pretty good, you know. I finished it like one run through, but then there are like multiple pathways, so to get 100% completion, but it's a very good nod to the original NES Castlevania, especially Castlevania 3. This one is, you know, the spiritual successor to Castlevania, having Igarashi, the creator of this series. He's now out of Konami, and then they did some sort of Kickstarter. And then this is what we have here.
Once more in Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. And so, the young lady Miriam, host of The Alchemist's Curse, must use her unwanted gifts to slay the demons wrought by the curse's original host, Gebel. With these powers, she can steal the abilities of enemies, bend gravity to her will, and dart about Gebel's castle at lightning speed. Here, the laws of reality and 2D side-scrollers don't apply. Throughout the castle, a treasure trove of side quests, deadly tasks, and small touches flesh out the campaign.
Your body is covered with weird decorations.
Beyond the main story, you can dig deep into character customization, subquests, and more. Stop the fall of man at the hands of demons, and don't be afraid to show them your dark side. Bloodstained Ritual of the Night emerges from the shadows this summer.
I was hoping they announce a demo after the direct for that, but anyway.
The time has come to build a new world and take on the children of Hargon. On an empty island, you'll ally yourself with the mysterious Malroth and defend your world from monstrous forces. Enlist villagers to help rebuild and fight alongside you in the story mode. Or unite with 3 other builders to create your own island in local co-op or online. You'll gather materials, craft objects and tools, and reach new heights by building any structure you can imagine. Now you can dash, glide, play in first person, explore underwater, and warp all over the new retro-inspired map. If you own the previous game on the Nintendo Switch system, you can craft the legendary builder's outfit and the Dragon Lord's throne. When Dragon Quest Builders 2 launches on Nintendo Switch July 12th.
So the original Dragon Quest Builders, I actually have it on the PS Vita, but I did not enjoy it as much as I would because the frame rate on the Vita version is, not that great. And on the Switch, I heard it runs fine, but I already have it on the Vita, so it's redundant. So I don't know if I'm getting 2 for the Switch because I already have Minecraft and the game just reminds me of Minecraft. I know it's different, it has like more RPG elements into it, but yeah, seeing that I'd rather like play Minecraft than play this one, but yeah, that's just me.
There are more Nintendo Switch headlines to come, but first, a word from Mr. Koizumi.
Well, how's it looking? Next, we have a new announcement for that classic RPG series. Please take a look.
There are RPGs, and then there's Dragon Quest, the series that defined the genre. And the latest entry is charging onto Nintendo Switch in full force, pairing the series' beloved style and perfectly balanced battles with the most impressive scope and elaborate story in series history. Where there is light, darkness follows. For no one does this ring truer than the Luminary, the boy that prophecy says will succeed the last hero and protect the world from a terrible end. In an odd twist of fate, the boy's royal birthright is snatched from him. On the day he becomes an adult, he finally discovers his true heritage and the powers that make him the Luminary. When he goes to the king of the largest kingdom for guidance, he is dubbed Darkspawn. So begins the perilous journey of a hunted hero and the ragtag band of adventurers who will join him on his quest to set things right. Together they'll explore the towns and terrain of the sprawling, detailed land, Erdrea. Monsters roam free of random encounters. When you engage them, choose your strategy wisely in turn-based battles. You must know when to attack, when to heal, when to use magic.
I actually prefer in modern RPGs that they do that, where you can actually see the monsters in dungeons instead of random encounters. I hate random encounters in RPG. That's why there are a lot of old RPGs that I don't like playing anymore. Yeah, before they were fine, but now it's just I'm impatient with random encounters.
And when to switch your party members' orders. As you do, you'll earn skill points which can be used to teach party members attacks, spells, and improve their abilities. You can also collect materials so you can forge weapons, armor, and accessories. Looking for an item? Then help people out in side quests. Or try your hand at the casino. Or horse racing. Erdrea is full of surprises like these, and this time, the player has the power to choose on the fly between the land's gorgeous HD vistas and the 2D 16.
Nice. They also have that on the 3DS. You can switch between old graphic style for nostalgia purposes, and then you can go back to the, you know, glorious HD 3D graphics.
8-bit glory of old. This is also the first version of the game with fully orchestrated field and battle tunes. If you want, you can change between the original sound and the new one whenever you want. And you can also experience the journey with English or Japanese audio.
勇者の奇跡ってやつだ。
First-time players and veterans should also look forward to new stories. Each sees one of the main cast members stepping into the spotlight, shedding new light on hidden truths. This hero's adventure has truly leveled up. Dragon Quest XI-S, Echoes of an Elusive Age, Definitive Edition. Launching exclusively on Nintendo Switch this fall.
Okay, that's nice, but personally, I'm not a big RPG guy, you know, like, I'm not that fond of games where the push is the story, because if like I play a video game and then I'm after the story, I'd rather like read a novel or an epic fantasy or something, you know. And yeah, so I don't usually when I play games, they tend to be like arcadey, like Mario, even though it has like a very basic story, because I'm not after the story. But I know there are a lot of people who love like RPG, like who like to get their doses of like epic stories on an RPG, so it is good for them. But me personally, if I have like RPGs, I don't like Bravely Default. I haven't even finished it yet. Like I begin it, like I get into an RPG, I'm gonna play for it like 20 hours and then I stop like midway. Like I don't get that invested into the story, because compared to the stories that I read on the novel format, you know, people say, oh, do this, play this RPG, the story is very good. And then the moment I play it, like, really, this is good, like that. So yeah, I prefer the stories in, you know, the epic novels and stuff.
While we just announced the addition of these new stories, there will be more new information to share in the future. Please look forward to learning more. For now, let's continue with more Nintendo Switch headlines.
A Disney Tsum Tsum game like you've never seen before. These stuffed Disney toys took the world by storm, and now they're ready for an after-hours party at the toy store in Disney Tsum Tsum Festival. Play with your friends and family in a wide variety of competitive and cooperative
It's like Mario Party with chibi Disney characters.
games that support up to 4 players. You can play online as well with players from around the world. And you can't mention Disney Tsum Tsums without talking puzzles. Connect matching Tsum Tsum to clear them and set a high score. The game also features a 2-player mode for local and online competitive matches. Disney Tsum Tsum Festival will steal our hearts in 2019. We're picking up a distress call in the Atlas star system. But this time, it's far from friendly.
This game has had a shaky release though. So if you notice, is it Ubisoft? I think yeah, it's Ubisoft. They're always making this game like if you look at eShop, it's always on sale, like 50% and so on. I think they're adding a DLC now.
In fact, it's none other than Starwolf's infamous lieutenants, Andrew Oikini, Pigma Dengar, and the Great Leon. Now Peppy, Falco, and Slippy have no choice but to hunt them down, like the animals they are. in a challenging new series of missions you can only find in the spring update of Starlink Battle for Atlas. Every member of the Star Fox team has their own special pilot ability and skill tree. Plus, each pilot can take on any of the new missions and also Fox's missions from the base game. It's time for a game of seek and destroy. But don't expect Wolf to play fair. Look forward to news on the rest of
Yeah, this game seems appealing at first because of that, at least for me, because of that split screen multiplayer. The problem is that split screen multiplayer only works when the Switch is docked, so you can't actually do that when it's handheld. So because I guess the processing power of Switch is actually different when it's on handheld versus when it is docked. So when it is docked, the dock itself gives it more juice, more processing power, so it can process like maybe this one split screen. But you can only play solo with the handheld, which is a shame.
the additional content such as starship races and faction missions, so you're ready when the Star Fox team joins the Starlink Battle for Atlas update this April.
I'm sorry, it's not a DLC. It's I believe it's a free update. They didn't say DLC at all.
A heartfelt fantasy adventure crops up
That's Rune Factory.
once again. Another season, another reason to wield weapons and spells against monsters.
This one I played to death on the 3DS. I believe this is a port of the 3DS one, so I won't be getting this because the 3DS one I played to death, and I actually prefer this to. There have been some Harvest Moons on the 3DS, and in fact the newer one with the new title, Story of Seasons, I still prefer this one, the Rune Factory, because of the very nice combat mechanics, and yeah, and then on top of that, all the farming and courting simulation is still there.
Interact with townsfolk daily. Grow vegetables and fruits at the farm.
Have you seen those? I won't repeat it, but the cabbages and the strawberries are huge, man.
Cook some fish. Cook up a storm. Or even raise monsters. This fantastical circle of life will keep you coming back for more in
Yeah, I don't know. It kind of looks out of place on the Switch because I remember on the 3DS, this game actually utilizes static pre-rendered images in the background, as you can see, and then you have like 3D characters and models moving. I would have thought on the Switch when they ported it, they would have made at least the backgrounds into 3D models as well instead of pre-rendered images, but I guess they stuck with it.
in Rune Factory 4 Special, fully remastered for Nintendo Switch. Battle alongside townsfolk, and before long, you may become more than just friends.
What?
See what the heart-pounding newlywed life has in store for you, exclusively in this new version of the game. Rune Factory 4 Special will be ripe for the playing later this year. And we can finally confirm that Rune Factory 5 is in development. Look forward to more info in the future.
So yeah, so that's why they're remaking it, because they're hyping this one. This is the one I'm looking forward. Rune Factory 5. I already played 4, so yeah. So maybe they release it for newcomers to the series. It's really a good one if you haven't tried it before. This I'm looking forward to, Rune Factory 5.
Soon, a time will come to slay monsters and rescue lost souls, before those souls become monsters. In this action RPG from the developers of I Am Setsuna and Lost Sphere, step into a realm built upon the tenets of
Again, RPG, not really my thing.
reincarnation. Its people lead repressed lives, forbidden to mourn the loss of loved ones. To uphold these tenets, Kagachi must travel between the living world and the beyond to rescue lost souls from a terrible fate, becoming monsters. When battling these creatures, the lost souls you've rescued can manifest within you, granting you new powers. Each soul's powers are different, so you must choose the right soul for the situation at hand. In this deep single-player campaign, there will be many battles. You will fight, and you will become stronger. Those who fall to grief are lost, and the lost don't reincarnate. The very foundations of reincarnation will begin to crumble, when Oninaki launches in summer 2019. Cars, robots, and Yoshis in a world of craft.
This is very good. So the demo is actually out already. It's very nice. It's very charming.
You know what that means? Yoshi's Crafted World is almost here. This time, we'd like to put the many facets of these crafty courses on display. As Yoshi, you'll go rafting, race solar cars, and tear through the sky on a plane. Nice shot, Yoshi! Hey, that robot's pretty huge for a miniature. Even at this scale, you'll have some challenging bosses to wrangle. Using in-game coins you've racked up, you can collect crafted costumes. If you wear one, it'll offer a bit of protection from enemies. There are more than 180 of these costumes, and some of them can be tricky to get your hands on. Later today, we'll release a demo, which lets you play through the first course. The Yoshi's Crafted World game will finally hatch on March 29th. We have more Nintendo Switch headlines.
So the unique thing about Yoshi's Crafted World is that typically you have platformers, they only actually go like from point A to point B. So like Mario, you have a start and then you have like the flag at the end. In Yoshi's Crafted World, you can actually do the stage both ways. So from point A to point B, and then you can do it from point B to point A, and then it will like shift the perspective. It's actually very cool.
Coming up, but first, another update from Mr. Koizumi.
How's it going so far? Next, we have a follow-up on the latest installment in one of our long-running series, Fire Emblem Three Houses. Please have a look.
Oh my. What could have brought you here?
The continent of Fodlan, said to be protected by a revered goddess, has existed since time immemorial. 3 ruling powers now control the land. In the south lies a region long held by a more than 1,000-year-old dynasty, the Adrestian Empire. Beyond its borders, to the frigid north, is the home of the Holy Kingdom of Faerghus, ruled by the royal family and its knights. To the east, a league of nobles that heeds no king nor emperor rules what is called the Leicester Alliance. Once consumed by a tempest of war and turmoil, Fodlan and these 3 mighty powers now exist in relative harmony.
In the Fire Emblem Three Houses game, you are the hero the world needs. You start out as a mercenary traveling with a group led by your father, Geralt. After an unexpected incident reveals an unknown power hidden within, you'll travel to Garreg Mach Monastery, where you'll receive an offer to teach at the Officers' Academy. Around that same time, you alone begin to see a mysterious girl named Sothis, who appears within your mind.
Got you from now on, right?
Garreg Mach Monastery lies at the center of 3 large territories. It is the home base of the Church of Seiros, the main religion of Fodlan, as well as the Knights of Seiros. Not only does the church serve to maintain order in Fodlan, its monastery also houses the Officers' Academy. Those who train there will go on to shoulder the future of Fodlan. The Officers' Academy is comprised of 3 houses. The Black Eagles is for students from the Adrestian Empire, including the house leader and future emperor, Edelgard. The Blue Lions boasts Prince Dimitri of the Holy Kingdom of Faerghus as its house leader. This house is for students from his kingdom. The Golden Deer is for students from the Leicester Alliance. Their house leader is Claude, who is the heir of the noble family that leads the alliance.
Okay, so it's nice that they went this route, like sort of like Harry Potter houses or like the one in Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. Because typically when I first heard this reveal, when I noticed 3 houses, I thought it was gonna be like Fire Emblem Fates, where you had this 2 kingdoms in Birthright and Conquest that are battling, having war with each other. And so I thought when I heard the 3 houses, it's gonna be the same formula, but then instead of 2 warring houses, this time we have 3. But it's nice to see that these houses are actually in unison, in peace with each other. So that's good.
As a professor, you will lead the students of one of these houses and instruct them. In addition to the house leaders, there are many other students to meet, each with their own unique personalities and skills. Which house will you choose? Students are expected to travel to various lands, sometimes with the Knights of Seiros themselves, and gain real battle experience, including everything from defeating bandits to suppressing rebellions. These may be class assignments, but the stakes in each battle...
It's cool now, the sprites are now big. I haven't played any console Fire Emblem, so I'm always used to the Fire Emblem on the handheld where you have a map. Like in the 3DS, it's like a 3D map, but then the sprites are still 2D. The characters are still 2D sprites. Here they went full 3D. So I think they already did that with the previous Fire Emblem on the console, but then again, I never owned those consoles like the Wii, the Wii U, so I haven't actually played the console Fire Emblem, so this actually would be the first time.
Battle are very real. Whether your students live or die will depend...
Yeah, we've seen this before. So they actually went the route of Advance Wars, where you have like a single unit, but then when the camera zooms in, that single tank, for example, is actually comprised of an army of tanks. So here it's the same. So you have a character, but then behind him or her is like an army of soldiers. So it's not the typical Fire Emblem where it's like 1v1 in the war.
On your leadership.
It actually gives it a more realistic feel, but at the same time, it also gives it some sort of like a Fire Emblem Warriors game feel, like the Samurai Warriors game where you have a character hacking and slashing a lot of people.
Strategize as the battle progresses to claim victory. At the officers...
The UI is also weird. Like I don't know if it's really like that in the console, but usually all the Fire Emblem games I've played, they have this unified UI format. So yeah, the first time I've seen it like this, it's kind of weird, but yeah, maybe it's very minor gripe. I'm gonna get used to it.
Academy, your students will work diligently each day so that they may wield a variety of weapons. Master the study of magic, and acquire special skills such as horsemanship. You have been entrusted with their future, and it's up to you to guide each of them and help.
Yeah, see that? It's like a Warriors game. That's why no wonder they released Fire Emblem Warriors first.
Them hone their abilities. Through combat experience and study, you can help your students reach their full potential. Your students can also interact with each other at the Academy, and by doing so, their bonds will strengthen, and they'll be able to better support each other on the battlefield.
Hey, over here!
Forward, now!
3 territories, 3 houses. Your very own journey. Fire Emblem 3 Houses will release on July 26th.
Nice. Here in South Africa, they usually get a lot of like limited edition, the European version, because only a few people actually buy Nintendo stuff here, because most of the stuff in the store are Sony and Xbox, so a lot of customers for Sony and Xbox, but few for Nintendo. So a lot of their Nintendo limited editions, they have like, usually they don't run out of stocks.
So, how does it look? Originally, we announced that Fire Emblem Three Houses would release this spring, but more development time will be necessary. And so the new release date is July 26th. That means we'll have to ask you to wait a little longer, but we hope you'll look forward to the next generation of Fire Emblem all the same. Time for some more Nintendo Switch headlines.
In this next entry of this iconic series, the last player standing wins.
So like I said, so this video was late. I'm actually playing this game already. The people who thought this is genius. Tetris 99. It's awesome.
99 players. But only one reigns supreme. This is Tetris 99.
I think like next to Super Mario Maker 2, this is like the most exciting thing in this direct, at least in my opinion. Yeah, I think my girlfriend's gonna love this.
Iconic puzzle game arrives with an online experience like no other. Nintendo Switch Online members can battle for dominance in this free-to-download game.
That's also the nice thing. It's free as long as you have the Nintendo yearly subscription, which I have personally. So yeah, I've been playing this now, and it's really very good.
If you're attacked with garbage, attack back to defeat the other 98 players and become the sole survivor. Nintendo Switch Online members, be ready to join the fight. Tetris 99 will be available for download later today. Look forward to battling it out in...
You know, I hope they also have a Puyo like this, Puyo Puyo 99. That will really be good.
Upcoming online events. Prepare to kill, survive, or die in Dead by Daylight. Imagine this. You're alone, struck by fear.
The 3D models kind of look weird. So like, the first time I saw this on my phone, it kind of looked weird, but I just told myself, maybe it's just my phone is 240p. But looking at it right now, it kind of looks weird.
Struggling to survive, and then you meet another survivor, but it's too late.
I don't know if the original game has that art style, or maybe it's just downgraded on the Switch.
The killer is upon you. Now run, hide, scavenge for items, open the gates, and escape with your life. Or take on the role of the killer to make the so-called survivors
Also, the frame rate doesn't look that good.
your next victims. Terrifying? Oh yes. Satisfying? Just you wait. With loads of maps, characters, and cosmetics to earn, you'll experience a deep progression system while you're on the hunt or being hunted. Discover the true meaning of horror when Dead by Daylight creeps up on Nintendo Switch this fall. This dog will ruin your day.
I'm yet to play Undertale. Undertale is on the Switch, but I have it on my Vita, but I haven't played it yet. I'm yet to play it. Okay, so it's a free-to-start game. On the February 28th, Chapter 1 will be available, but then succeeding chapters, you have to pay for it. Kind of like the Telltale games, the like Walking Dead and stuff.
Now for a message from the producer of the futuristic mech
The demo of this one is also out already. It's already on my Switch, but I'm yet to try it.
action game, Daemon X Machina.
Hello everyone, I'm Kenichiro Tsukura, producer of Daemon X Machina, and I have some news for you. Later today, they'll be releasing a demo called Daemon X Machina Prototype Mission on Nintendo eShop for a limited time. The game is still in development, but in the demo you can battle through 4 different missions while exploring the
It's like Gundam, man. It actually looks cool.
basic controls and customizations of your personal mech known as an Arsenal. You can also experience a boss battle in the final mission, so please try it out. After playing the demo, we'd like to hear your feedback. We'll be conducting a short online survey by sending an email invite to some players who try out prototype missions. If you weren't selected for the survey, we also welcome your feedback via social media. We appreciate your feedback and hope to make this game the best it can be. We have more to say about Daemon X Machina, so please follow the official Nintendo of America Twitter account so you can stay up to date on the latest information. Daemon X Machina should be launching this summer. With that in mind, the development team is working hard right now, so please stay tuned.
Realistic racing is headed for Nintendo Switch. Grid Autosport comes fully loaded with a mix of high-speed thrills, believable handling, and a difficulty level that scales to your skills.
I'm also not that into racing, so I have like Mario Kart 8 on my Switch. Like that's enough racing needs for me. I also have my new game, Road Redemption. I also bought that because this one is a throwback to the Road Rash. Yeah, but it's not really racing. It's like battling while racing. But yeah, this one, no, it's not. This is not for me.
You'll feel like a pro racer as you master the world's fastest cars to win motorsport's most exhilarating races. From the prestigious circuit of Spa-Francorchamps to the narrow city streets of Barcelona, all DLC is included with 100 cars, 100 circuits, and some welcome additions like motion controls and custom controls. Players can race online or locally, and 2 players can race split screen on a single system. From street racing to demolition derby, when Grid Autosport speeds onto Nintendo Switch in summer 2019. Enter the Viking Age to experience Senua's journey again, or for the very first time. Created in collaboration with neuroscientists and people who experience psychosis, Hellblade pulls players deep into the mind of Senua. This broken Celtic warrior will embark on a haunting vision quest through Viking hell to fight for the soul of her dead lover. Hellblade has won multiple awards, including BAFTAs for performance, audio and artistic achievement, British Game, and Game Beyond Entertainment. Find out why when Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice releases on Nintendo Switch this spring.
That looks very promising. Yeah, I'm gonna check out some reviews of this game because it said if you've played this before or for the first time on the Switch, so maybe it's out on the other consoles. I don't know, but I'm gonna look at this game.
The Nintendo Switch lineup just keeps getting stronger. Mortal Kombat 11 proves the saga 25 years in the telling is far from over, with all new custom character variations, plus new characters and returning veterans taking up the fight. In a fresh new adventure, Unravel 2 sees players...
It said that in the last Mortal Kombat that I played on the Vita, it actually had Kratos on it. He's actually a good character, and you know he actually jives or belongs with the Mortal Kombat characters. Like his moveset is very brutal, very Mortal Kombat like, but I doubt it will be here because it's it's a Sony IP and this is a Nintendo console.
Players take control of 2 adorable Yarnies.
Actually, it looks like Pikmin. I thought it was Pikmin.
Both Yarnies on your own in single player, or play with a friend in local co-op for some puzzling platforming fun when Unravel 2 comes to Nintendo Switch March 22nd. For the first time on Nintendo Switch, experience Assassin's Creed 3 Remastered.
Yeah, a lot of people, they saw this coming because there are like a lot of sites, even before Nintendo announcing this one, in their sites they're already like typing in their sites the release date for Assassin's Creed 3. So I have the Assassin's Creed 3, I forgot what it's called. It's in the Assassin's Creed 3 universe, but the Vita one. The Assassin's Creed 3 I actually haven't played before because my laptop back in 2012 can't actually run it very well, but I was able to play in there. I do have in there the Assassin's Creed 2 and then the entire sequel. So I think that was a nice Assassin's Creed. So hopefully in the future they will port, like, I don't know, the trilogy of the Assassin's Creed 2 on the Switch. But this one, yeah, maybe I'm gonna give it a chance. I don't know if like the reviews are good and if it runs well. So maybe, but yeah, because I haven't played the core Assassin's Creed 3 game.
Revamped gameplay and features tailored to the system like motion aiming and touch input. Set in the American Revolution, explore one of the most iconic eras in history as you fight for freedom and independence and usher in the rise of a nation. All the original downloadable content, plus the entire standalone game, Assassin's Creed Liberation Remastered,
That's the one, Liberation. Yeah, that was the one I'm talking about from the Vita. This I played.
will be included when they launch together on May 21st. Final Fantasy fans, better open your calendars. We're excited to announce that Final Fantasy VII will find its new home on Nintendo Switch March 26th. We can also announce that
So I already said my opinion, about RPG. So the thing about Final Fantasy VII, yeah, it's actually good, but unfortunately, I played it like at the wrong era, sort of, because I first got my own PlayStation when I was already like second year in college. So yeah, by then it was already like PS3 and stuff. So it was like I've heard it was very good, Final Fantasy VII, but then when I actually played it, I was like, it's all right, So yeah.
Chocobo's Mystery Dungeon Everybody will release on March 20th. We're pleased to announce that Final Fantasy IX will journey onto Nintendo Switch later today.
So this actually surprised me that they're releasing 9 first instead of 7. But now, like, I think the idea is that because they know that 7 is a much bigger Final Fantasy, like, of course that's why Sony is making a remake of that game and not 9. So I think if they release 7 first, a lot of people are gonna buy it right away and then forget about. They will be like, I've had my Final Fantasy feel, and then they will forget about the succeeding Final Fantasies that will be released on the Switch. So I think it's actually smart that they release this first instead of 7, so that people will be like, I want 7, but I can't wait anymore for Final Fantasy. So yeah, come on, 9. But personally, I don't think I'm getting this. Like, I haven't played 9, but if I really want to, I can play it on my Vita, at least the original one, not the HD remake. But yeah, this one, because the HD remake, the remake of Final Fantasy 9 on the Switch, it is 4 by the aspect ratio is 4:3, so it actually has that black borders, and then you can't stretch it, and I don't like that. Like, I prefer a stretch aspect ratio instead of like having black bars. I find those things they bug me, So yeah.
It's a classic, always a classic. That's all for today's Nintendo Switch headlines.
How's everything looking? Well, we have a bit more to share in this Nintendo Direct. Please stay with us until the end. Let's take a look, shall we?
Yeah, this is actually like a new IP, and it looks actually kind of cool. If you look at it, like, you have a character, and then you summon a robot, and then you're like linked by a light, and then it looks like you throw your robot on the enemy, and you can like control both of your character and the robot, and then you can combo crazy attacks together. Yeah, it looks very cool. So like, for example, RPGs. So I don't mind RPGs even if it has like that a very epic story and stuff, as long as it has like a very stunning gameplay. So that usually I only shy away from RPGs whose, like, for example, combat fight scenes are just like turn-based, and then you just like attack, Magic, like yeah, I'm not into those, but if it's RPGs but with this kind of combat, like we're talking about Xenoblade and stuff like that, or Chrono Trigger, yeah, I like those.
How foolish. You people are leading all of humanity straight to damnation.
Straight to damnation? You're the terrorist here!
You don't understand. My heart goes out to you too. All because of how you were born. Doomed to be used by those idiots until you die. Chained to your fate.
It kind of has like the third birthday vibe on the PSP. If you've played that game, it's a good game. It kind of has like that vibe.
Powerless.
Today has been most revelatory. Finally, we're ready for the final stage.
What the hell are they? Why did you make them?
I really hoped you two wouldn't get caught up in all this. Now don't go dying on me.
It has a all-star developers as well, so I think hopefully this is gonna be good.
What you just witnessed is Astral Chain, a brand new action game in development at Platinum Games. It looked like two characters were fighting together during battle, didn't it? I hope you're excited to learn more about how combat will play out in this game. Please stay tuned. And speaking of Platinum Games, I'm sure you're very curious about Bayonetta 3. Rest assured, the developers of Bayonetta 3 are hard at work, and I hope you're looking forward to learning more. Our next title will be the last announcement of the day. Please check it out.
So when I first saw this one and then saw Link on that boat, I thought it's gonna be a Wind Waker remake, but yeah, let's continue. Then I saw that iconic egg, then I knew it's Link's Awakening remake, which is very cool. Oh wait, where are their Goombas here? It's this year, so I really like that, in Zelda, even though the success that they've had with Breath of the Wild, they're still not giving up with their 2D Zeldas. And for me personally, I actually prefer those top-down perspective Zeldas. So for example, Link to the Past, Link Between Worlds, the Minish Cap, for example, compared to for example, I played Ocarina of Time. I still prefer the Link to the Past, the top-down perspective compared to those. Granted, I have Breath of the Wild, but I've tried playing it, but I haven't dived into it yet. I haven't given it a serious time. But personally, I hope they wouldn't give up on the top-down perspective Zelda, because those are the kinds of Zelda games that I grew up with. Even the ones on the the S1, the Phantom Hourglass, the Spirit Tracks, the top-down perspective. I really like those, yeah. But of course, I hope they still continue making the full-fledged 3D ones like Ocarina of Time or like the Breath of the Wild and stuff.
So, what did you think? At long last, 1993's Game Boy classic, The Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening, will find new life on Nintendo Switch. After 26 years, it has been reborn as a new experience, and we'll have more to say in the future. Please look forward to its release. That's all for today's Nintendo Direct. Thank you so much for watching.
Okay, so overall it's actually a good direct. So if you look at like comments here on YouTube, or like if you look at the Reddit, for example, a lot of people like don't like it because it's not really Nintendo's fault. A lot of people like are setting their bars too high. Like in this direct, they expected a Pokemon announcement, they expected Animal Crossing, and then they should have realized that when Nintendo announced this, they explicitly said that, hey, this is Nintendo Direct, we'll be featuring like Fire. Usually when they say that they'll be featuring a title, typically that title is actually the biggest game in that Direct. So when they said they'll be featuring Fire Emblem, I already, like me personally, already expected that it wouldn't have Animal Crossing or Pokemon, because arguably these two games, these two franchises, Animal Crossing and Pokemon, they're way bigger than, you know, the Fire Emblem franchise. So they still have like succeeding directs, like for example directs near the E3 part. I'm sure those are the parts where they'll be announcing like Pokemon or something. Yeah, so yeah, so far it's a very good direct, and I'm so excited for. Right now I'm already playing Tetris 99. I already tried the Yoshi demo, Yoshi's Crafted World, the Daemon X Machina. I'm still gonna try it, but I'm so excited for Super Mario Maker 2, which I believe I forgot the release date. I believe it was June. Yeah, June this year. And then a month after that, July 26th, is the Fire Emblem Three Houses. So those things I'm looking forward to play. Okay, so this is my commentary, not a live reaction video. Hopefully next time I can do a live reaction video on the next direct. But yeah, this is just a commentary, and thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.